Good evening, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Buko, and welcome to Makeover Your Mind Reloaded. Last week, we had Makeover Your Money Mindset, and we spoke in depth about the ABC Mindset Framework. We discussed the three main points but in the ABC Mindset Framework, and we discussed about abundance, getting abundance, and what that actually means. And this week, we're going to go over the ABC Mindset Framework, and we're going to go in depth into the three main beliefs that could be holding you back. As I explained last week, being abundant isn't just about having a lot of money. It's a lot to do as well with having an abundant mindset. Has a lot to do with your character as well. You're filled with love. You don't have any personal lacks. You're not looking for validation from money. You're not looking for completeness from money. You're not looking for happiness from money. You already have these things in yourself, and therefore you attract more money, and you use that money to impact your family, your world around you, and just to make your family, yourself, the world around you a better place. So I am going to share my screen with you as we go into the slideshow. If you can't hear me at any point or you can't see my screen, please let me know. Thank you very much. But hopefully everyone should be able to see my screen and everyone should be able to hear me. Great. Okay. Great. Okay, so I've got my slideshow up and we're going to start. Makeover Your Mind Reloaded. Thank you so much for coming. And so as I just shared, that abundance is our birthright. We were all born to max out our potential, but based on where we grew up or influences that we might have been exposed to, we might have built up a different type of mentality where we thought we may not max out our potential. But today I'm going to show you that each and every one of us who has a fully functional brain was meant to max out your potential. Every one of us, everyone. And you can do it. So in the next 60 minutes or less, you are going to learn about my ABC Mindset Framework so that you can transform your relationship with money, so you can earn your worth, get out of debt, and start building the lifestyle you deserve. My big promise to you is that if you can pay full attention during this presentation and you can commit to investing 10 seconds at a time, and I'll tell you why, you can turn your life around. So this is for you if you feel frustrated and confused when it comes to taking control of your finances. If you're tired where you are financially and you want to know more about how to hack your brain so that you can achieve more and stop self-sabotaging. If you routinely start a new budget or you start cutting costs, but you never stick to it and then you hate yourself for it. So who am I and why should you even be listening to me? My name is Elizabeth Buko, and I am the proud co-CEO and co-CFO of my home. I have a master's in chemical engineering, and I worked in an oil and gas industry for 7 years, during which I was the business strategist in charge of cost management for my company. I was also invited to City Hall by the Deputy Mayor of London to discuss clean energy. I love toasted bread with chocolate spread and banana slices. That is my guilty pleasure. And I believe that if you have a desire to do something, it shows that you have the capability. And the second thing I believe is that in everything that we do, we always have a reason to be grateful. Yeah, we always have a reason to be grateful. We always have a reason to be thankful. And if we focus on things that we are thankful for, we would notice less of the things that we don't like. So let's get straight into it. I have developed a mindset framework that will transform your relationship with money, and it is as simple as ABC. So in this masterclass, we are going to become aware of our habits and our underlying beliefs that is holding us back, so that we can break free of that and therefore increase ourselves, so that we can increase our income, grow our savings, and bust through debt, and change our financial future. And also another thing we're trying to achieve is to become excited and feel more confident, independent, feel free to make impactful changes that will create the financial life that you want for yourself and for those who are close to you. And so that you can become an inspiration to the people around you, be the super parent that I know I want to be a super parent, the super parent that you always dreamed of being as you reset your financial future. So why is this information important now, especially for us women? We women are easy targets for fashion, home, and living advertisements. To show you how bad, the third richest person on the planet Earth is Bernard Arnold, and he's worth $100 billion. He's the CEO of the company which a lot of us shop at, maybe not a lot, but a lot of women in the world shop at. And he's making money from our hard work. Another reason is that most people in the UK don't actually have a lot of money saved. A BBC report showed that 16 million people in the UK do not have up to £100 saved. And half of that would be women. Women already earn less than men. We have worse credit scores than men, and we retire with smaller pension pots than men. We hold a lot of student debt. 2/3 of our student debt now belong to women because we are more educated than ever. And then we get less parental financial support as we grow older. So this is my promise to you. This is not a webinar where you get just 3 random secrets. I am going to give you real value here, real value. And if you stay the whole webinar, you are going to get a special bonus. And I have a special offer at the end, which is completely free. So, quick question. And we did this last week, so I want to see if you were on your toes. Can you guess the number of women that will retire only on a state pension in the UK? This is a recent survey done by the FCA in 2019. And can you guess the amount of women that will retire only on a state pension? If you guessed 53%, then you are right. Anything other than that is wrong. Yes, over 50% of women will retire only on a state pension. And that is, the state pension is £8,700 per year. So this is how much that 53% of women will retire on, which will mean they will have to either go back to work after retirement or find some additional source of income. Now straight into the meat and potatoes of the webinar. 3 irrefutable laws of your money mindset transformation. The first is the law of thought. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is based on the Bible, Proverbs 23:7, but it is so true. It is so true. Your future is created in your minute-to-minute thoughts. As you think, so you are, because the thoughts that you think slowly become the beliefs that you have, which lead to the actions that you take and your behaviors, and it leads to the results that you see in your life. So therefore, as you think, you actually become the person you think about the most. So you may have heard that the answer to your money struggles may lie in budgeting alone, or just working harder alone, or that the fact that you need a pay rise to get things better, or you need to cut more costs and be extremely strict with your spending, or consolidate all your loans. Well, I'll have you know that if you don't get to the root of your money issues, all those things, all those tactics, as good as they may be, it will not solve your problem. It will just be a temporary fix. Also, you may have heard that your personality is inborn and it causes you to act and do certain things. And it's all well-meaning, but all these things is putting the cart before the horse. It may give you a temporary change in your situation, but it will not give you permanent transformation. Second law of the money mindset is that you have to put the right elements in the right sequence. And that means that to get the outcome you want, you need to use a very specific system. And that is what I'm about to share with you next. And it involves getting to the root of your core beliefs about money and seeing how they were formed, understanding how those decisions were made, how the way you think about the money reflects in your financial reality, and then how to change it. So you need to understand go back to your core beliefs first, and then work from that. It has worked for several people, many people, and these are just two examples, not my clients, but two examples of people that it has worked for. Susie Ullman was a waitress with a university degree at age 30. After working on her mindset, and she talks about this in several of her books, she went on to become a financial advisor, and she is now an award-winning author and making loads of money. She broke free from her limiting beliefs and moved into the life that she actually wanted. Sherry Salata is a 57-year-old lady, and she's starting a whole new career now. She initially started as in an entry-level job at the age of 35, working in Oprah's company, thinking that she was way too old to just start a new career. And at 57, she's starting all over again, because you can. The part of your brain that allows you to make money does not age, and I will show you how. So for a quick transformation, you have to stop fighting against your body, but make your body work in agreement with you. What I mean is, stop fighting yourself to say, oh, I must stop spending, or I'm going to cut off all my credit card. Or not that isn't a good idea, but stop fighting against your urges, but make your urges in alignment to what your financial goals are. And we're going to do this by understanding and using neuroscience to understand how your thoughts create your reality. And then we learn and unlearn your money beliefs so that you can actually see permanent change. You need to do the deep inner work of daily renewing your mind consistently and follow the ABC mindset framework. So I have developed this system that allows you to increase your capacity to make more, keep more money without more qualifications or budget, so that you can have the life of true freedom to live the life you actually want, to live a life free from past financial mistakes in as little as 10 seconds a day, no matter your age. So here is the framework. First step is paying attention. So the A in the ABC framework is for attention. Your thoughts lead to your results. And that is because your thoughts affect your feelings, which affect your beliefs, and they affect your actions, which lead to your results. So when we think, we actually create, when we think in our brains, we create, we have our brains are filled with like hundreds of billions of new neurons. Now, these neurons communicate with each other by sending signals, electrochemical impulses across each other to communicate. When they communicate, they create pathways, neural pathways. And every time we think something new, this connection is activated. And every time we think that thing again, the connection becomes stronger. So if you look at it like your two hands, if you imagine maybe your two hands, but just as assuming your left and your right hand are two neurons, although the connection is between thousands of neurons. And your fingers are the connections. So this is just a simplistic explanation. When you think a thought for the first time, imagine your your five fingers coming close together, your left hand and your right hand. They're coming close together. Then you think it again, and you think it again, and you think it again. And slowly your fingers begin to interlock until it is like completely locked in together. So every time we repeat this, every time we repeat a thought or repeat an action, we actually solidifying these pathways, these neural pathways in our brain over and over again. And because these pathways are solidified, it makes it easy for you to think a thought and for that thought to lead to you to doing a particular action. So as I explained last week, by thinking the same thoughts over and over again, we create our past because we keep on doing the things that we're used to doing. And in order to change that, we need to pay attention to our thoughts. And you can do that in 10 seconds. So basically, anytime you think about anything, you stop and you ask yourself, what are you creating? Because every thought you think is creating something. And every result you have right now is because of a thought you once had. The chairs in your house now is because of the thought you once thought, I think I would like brown chairs. And voila, one day you had brown chairs. So every thought you think is because of a thought. Everything you have, every result you have is because of a thought you thought once. Okay, next slide. The second step is your belief system. Money doesn't mean anything. Money means only what you make it to believe, what you want it to mean. So if you think that money is good, then money will be good in your hands. If you feel like money is hard, it will be hard. So our beliefs about money come from the thoughts we keep thinking over and over and over again. And there are several levels of beliefs. And that is what we're going to actually go into right now. There are 3 types of beliefs. First, auto self-talk. Second one is the general assumptions. And the third is core beliefs. So what are auto self-talk? Auto self-talk is what you say to yourself without thinking. It's the things that you just say randomly. You may not really mean it, but you say it anyway. Such as, I don't like saving. Or, I don't like eating out. Just random things that you say to yourself. That is auto self-talk. You don't really think about it, you just say the words. Second type of belief is general assumptions. Now, general assumptions are assumptions that you have of yourself based on your worries or things that you have experienced in the past. So these are the made up stories or theories that you have in order to justify your actions. So, for example, in the auto self-talk, you said, I don't like saving. So if we're still talking about saving, your general assumption could be, I'm no good at saving. So now you've made up this belief that you are not good at saving because you because you feel like you feel like once in the past maybe you were not able to save well then, and you've made up this story that you're not good at saving as a justification for you not to be able to save. And because you keep saying this to yourself, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because you will definitely not be good at saving. Then the third level and the deepest level is your core beliefs. Now, your core beliefs are the beliefs that run the show. They run your life, whether you are aware of them or not. And in most cases, most of us are not even aware of what our core beliefs are. We may be aware of our general assumptions because they're things we say out loud. Other people may be aware about our automatic self-talk because those are things that we say to people. So you say your automatic self-talk to people. Your general assumptions, you may say it out loud to yourself, but your core beliefs are deep down in your heart that you actually may not even know that this is what you truly believe, but you can know by your results. So what you see in your life is exactly what you believe. So, and your core beliefs will color the way you see everything. Everything in life is colored by your core beliefs. So, for example, if you believe that you are deeply damaged and you can't make any use or any good use of any financial or business help anyone offers you, you will always set yourself up to fail every time someone gives you financial assistance or business assistance. You will end up failing at that because deep down you don't believe that you could ever make good use of it. And the truth is that you might not even know that this is your belief. That's the truth. You might not know that this is the thing that you keep telling yourself over and over again. But if that is what you truly believe, then every time someone tries to help you, you might accept the help. You might say, oh, I need this help. I want this help. But deep down, you think that you're not good at taking advice or transforming your finances or your business. So you will always self-sabotage any effort that you make. So before I move on, I will also touch on how to work on those beliefs. Actually, with automatic self-talks, you can renew your mind, rewire your brain by changing what you say and having neutral affirmations. So everyone, I'm sure you've all heard about positive affirmations saying, I am rich, I'm this. But if you believe, for example, I don't like saving or something like that, just by saying I like saving, it's not believable. So you make a neutral affirmation, like you can say something like saving is okay, or I'm learning to save every day. That's pretty neutral. It's not anywhere that it's not too far out that you can't believe that you're learning to save every day. or you're saving little by little every day. So that is a type of a neutral affirmation that you can say. And because it's believable, your subconscious mind will accept it more. And as you accept it, you start building on it, and then you build up to more positive affirmations. With general assumptions, where you make assumptions about yourself based on your experiences or the past. You make up stories about yourself, like, I'm no good at saving, I'm no good at investing, I'm not good with money. You need to focus more on reality, because that's a story made up in your mind. It's an imaginary story, it's a fairy tale that you're not good at investing, because you probably hardly tried, or you've probably not had much exposure with that. So you need to focus more on reality and see what is actually your reality. Like, are you actually working on saving? And then you can add what I like to call a but clause. So I'm not good at saving, but I'm trying every day. But I'm doing better every day. But or even if it's maybe your farmers used to say, I don't make a lot of money, but I'm making more every day. So you have this but clause, and you focus more on your reality more than the stories that you've made up in your mind. Then with core beliefs, those are a bit harder, because you need to first be aware of what your core beliefs are. When you are aware of that you need to be aware of where they came from. You need to be aware of where those beliefs originated from. And there are several places where they could have originated from, such as your childhood, from your parents or your guardians, your close friends and your spouse, and the environment which you grew up in. So with regard, when you are a child, let's say under the age of 6, most kids under the age of 6, our brainwave pattern is theta. So it's like a dreamlike state. It's so where we absorb everything without any filter. So if I say to a child, for example, my daughter is 3, if I say to my daughter that, because she's good at swimming, if I say, you swim like a fish, she will think I'm talking about her being a real fish. So when during the theta brainwave stage, when between the ages of 0 to 6, everything a child hears is absorbed exactly as it is. There's no filter, there's no questions. They take everything that you say, or they see, or they hear at face value. And it goes straight into the subconscious mind, and it can show up many years later when you're an adult. So with regards to parents and guardians, how we behave around money around our children, or how your parents behaved around money around you, definitely had a big influence on your life. And this is not to bash anyone's parents, because they behaved the way they did around money based on their programming from their own parents as well. And we will behave the way we are around money to our kids based on our own programming from our parents. But if we could become self-aware and think about what we're saying and what we're doing, then we will be able to notice what our beliefs in these areas are, and how we can shift it and change it to what we actually want. So, for example, if they what did they do with money? You may want to think about. So for everyone here, you may want to think to yourself, how did your parents act around money? How did they make money? What did they say about money? Were there any fears in your house around money? Were there fears of money running out, or having too much money? Or was money an issue of that caused anxiety, or was it just free? An issue, was it something that brought a lot of joy and happiness around you? That will affect the way you think about money? And then the things that your parents said about money to you, even if they said it as a joke. As I said, when you're under the age of 6, you don't fully understand jokes as older kids and adults do. So you will take it as face value. So so maybe our parents, some of them have said money doesn't grow on trees, or you have to work hard for money, or do you think I'm made of money? Those kind of words also affect the way we think about money and the way we feel about money and what we believe that we need to do to make money when we grow older. So you can think about that for yourself and see what words were said to you while you were growing up. Then the next place where our beliefs could have come from was oh yeah, and then also, I don't have money, ask dad, ask mom. That is a very, very common one. So you may grow up to believe that for yourself. If you are always asking your dad, you might end up thinking maybe your husband should take care of you, or you might think the other way, that no, I need to take care of myself. It depends on your family structure as well. So friends and spouses. So yeah, so your close friends, your very close circle of friends, and your spouse, how they what they think and feel about money will influence us now as well. You know, like, what do your friends say about money when you're talking? Like, do you notice? You can actually do this now for going forward. Just pay attention to what your friends say about money when they're talking. When you're when you're watching TV and you see somebody maybe being very flashy, do they make comments like, "Oh, I wonder where he got that from? What does he do for a living?" Or maybe, "Oh, she must have rich parents," or words like that will influence how you believe what you believe about money. Then also how your friends act and how your spouse acts around money. When you go out, do you all split the check equally, or does everyone, maybe you go out to eat for at a restaurant, does everyone like pick out what they're going to eat, or does one person just pay for everyone? That affects what you believe about money as well. Then with your spouse, do you have arguments? You can think about that. And then how do you feel when you're talking with your friends or your spouse about money? Do you feel shame, or do you feel guilty? Do you feel happy, or do you just feel freedom when talking about money? Another area our beliefs came in from is from our environment, where you grew up, your community. Like, how did you feel about your community growing up? Was it an affluent community? Maybe it was less affluent than normal. Did that motivate you to act a certain way, or did that make you feel relaxed in with regards to money? What did people around you do for money? What did you see people around you doing for money? Did everyone go to college, or did everyone what most people entrepreneurs or hustlers? That affects the way what we believe that we can achieve with money as well. And the final now is you. The final point is about you. Like, how do you feel when you think about becoming wealthy? Or if you haven't thought about becoming wealthy, if you think about it now, how do you feel? Do you feel excited, or do you feel afraid? Do you feel some form of fear? Like, ooh, there's a lot of money coming and you're scared about it. You scared about money, or you excited, you happy? How do you feel when you see bills coming in when the postman drops off a bunch of bills and you start opening them one by one? How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel neutral, happy, sad, excited, or irritated? When you go shopping, what do you think before you buy something? Yeah, what do you think about? Do you think, ooh, I feel a bit down. I think I should buy something and this will make me happy? Or are you thinking more like, I really need this, so I'm going to buy it? Or do you buy stuff just because you want to? And for parents in the group, what do you say to your kids about money? You know, do you, just to push them away, do you say, oh, go and ask your partner, your dad, or your mom, just so that they can stop bugging you? Do you say things like that? Or do you say, I can't afford it, or I don't have money, or where's your money, or show me your money? Those things will affect the way they see themselves as they get older as well. So the final thing is 3 characteristics of your mind. Now, this sums this whole belief masterclass up. And I'm going to give you 3 characteristics of your mind. First is your mind takes what you say personally. Second is your mind seeks the path of least resistance. And the third is your mind does not process negativity. And I'm going to explain all these one by one. So the first characteristic, your mind takes what you say personally. Now, imagine that your mind relates every comment that you say back to you. Imagine, for example, you are walking down the street, and actually, I'll give a real example of something that I saw lately. I saw a video of a young couple, and they were driving in this really flashy car, and they went to this massive house, and they walked in, and they were a couple. They walked into this house, and it seemed like from the video they must have owned the car and they owned the house, and they were having a wonderful life. But when you see that, what comes to your mind? And then you see a rich man spending, a rich guy, maybe he's not even rich, you see a guy spending a lot of money, just throwing money up and down everywhere. What comes to your mind when you see someone who's been extremely flashy, spending money like no man's business? Maybe you think, oh, he's so young. How does he have that much money? What does he do? Oh, he must be a trust fund kid. Maybe he has rich parents. Or maybe you ask yourself, I wonder what he does for a living. Does he do something dodgy? Does he sell drugs? Or, you may have all those thoughts when you see someone extremely flashy. Or you see, for example, for me, I see this young couple entering this massive house, and I'm thinking, oh, they're so young. Their parents must be wealthy, because I'm thinking that their parents must have given them the house or something. But the thing is that your unconscious takes what you say personally. So when I'm saying these things to myself, oh, he must have rich parents, or he must be doing something illegal to make all that money, or he must be really intelligent to make all that money. What my subconscious mind is actually hearing is, I cannot have this type of money unless I have rich parents or I do something illegal. So we have to be very careful when we are bad-mouthing other people that have money, because our minds can hear us, and our mind cannot distinguish when you're talking about somebody. I'm talking about your subconscious mind, cannot distinguish when you're talking about somebody else and yourself. It doesn't distinguish between you and them. When you talk about someone, it reflects on you, because your mind takes it as you're talking about yourself. And that is why I believe, they say, do unto others what you want them to do unto you. And, it goes further into think about others what you want them to think about you. So when you're thinking about other people, think good things. When you see someone who has a lot of money, think good things, because then your mind will hear the thoughts that you're saying and relate it back to you that, yeah, I can have this money too. Second thing is your mind seeks the path of least resistance. So many of us want to make money. You have this dream. You have this dream of you want to be rich, and that is the beginning and the end of the dream. That's it. It's like a lazy dream. That's what I call it. Because you don't have a clear vision of what exactly you want. So your mind will always seek the path of the least effort. So if you say, I want more money, literally 10p is more money. It will seek the path of the least effort. So it will find ways of making you more money, and maybe you find 10p on the floor and that's it. You've made more money because it's just 10p. But therefore you need to create a detailed vision of what exactly you want. You need to know how it feels to have what you want, what it tastes like to have what you want, so that it's easy for your mind to go after it. When you imagine what you want to get, and you imagine it in such clear detail, your vision, you've made a vision and it's completely clear. Make a vision, you've made it plain, it's completely clear, it's simple and clear. The instructions you've given your mind is clear. Then it's easy for your mind to work to achieve it, as opposed to a jumbled description or a simple description like, I want to just have more money, a lazy description. So the third characteristic of your mind is that your mind does not process negativity. So you have to say what you want. Now, I find this is so hard because so many of us know what we don't want. Am I right? We all know what we don't want. We don't want to live in this particular area. We don't want to be fat. We don't want to be lazy. We don't want to be working in our current place of work. We don't want so many things. But when you ask people what exactly you want, many people don't know. They don't have a clear vision of what they want. But they have a clear vision of what they don't want. So your mind doesn't process negative. So when you keep saying things like, when you keep on focusing on what you don't want, I don't want to be broke. Your mind doesn't process the negative, and the negative is, I don't want. And that means that it only focuses on be broke. So if you keep on saying, I don't want to be broke, I don't want to be broke, I don't want to be broke, your mind will keep on focusing on be broke, be broke, be broke, because it doesn't process negatives. So you need to focus on what you want and not what you don't want. And then also you need to speak kindly to yourself. Imagine your mind is just like your employee. You give it instructions and you tell it give it clear things of what you want it to do, and it will go on and actually accomplish those things for you. But sometimes we don't speak kindly to ourselves. We don't speak kindly to our employees, which is our mind. We don't speak kindly because we say things like, I want to save £100 this month and I don't want to spend anything on sweets. Yeah. And then next thing you go and you be like, oh, I love sweets so much. Okay. Just this one time, let me have some sweets and I'll continue saving next week. So you buy some sweets, you're not able to save the £100, and then you find out that you didn't make them, you didn't save enough, and then you beat yourself up for it. You're like, oh, I'm so silly. Why did I actually spend this money on the sweets? Or why did I lose this money? Or you speak so negatively to yourself, and that actually it's confusing your subconscious mind, because it's like, tell me go, tell me come, tell me go, tell me come. You tell it, save £100. Okay, this is how we're going to save it. And then you tell it, oh no, we're going to actually buy sweets. And then you say, oh, you're so stupid. Why did you buy sweets? When I said we have to save £100. Imagine if your boss spoke to you like that. You probably wouldn't like your boss that much. So you need to speak more kindly to yourself when it comes to focusing on your financial goals. And then make sure you say what you want and you give clear and simple instructions. Then how the final part is of the ABC mindset framework is C, conscious habits. Last week, we spoke about generosity, calmness, the importance of visualizing your dream. And today I'm going to talk about imagination and simulation. This is another habit, and this is a new point that I'm going to talk about today. So your brain, when you imagine things, the neural pathways that the neurons that connect when you think about your vision are the same neurons that fire up when you actually do the same thing. So if you were thinking about sweeping your house, the pathways in your brain that will fire together in order for you to sweep your house are the same pathways that would fire if you actually got up to sweep your house. So whether you're thinking about it or you're doing it, your brain, the neurons in your brain are still making the same connections. So my point is that it's important to have a clear, good imagination of what you want in your future. So even though you don't have it right now, continue to dream big, and imagine the kind of life that you want to have. Then the second step is mental simulation. So first you imagine and you keep on rehearsing your imagination. So you do mental rehearsal, think it over and over and over again. Then simulation is when I was working as a chemical engineer, we used to do this process simulations. When we had a problem, we would build a computer simulation of the whole system, and we will then test different scenarios. Oh, what if we connected this to this and this particular scenario happened? We would simulate it and see what would happen. Then we'll carry out a different simulation for different scenarios. That was in my engineering company. And that's the same thing with achieving your goals. When you're trying to achieve your goals, you actually have to mentally simulate how you're going to achieve your goals. So first you imagine what your goal, how it's going to be like to achieve your goal, how you're going to feel, what you're going to do, where you're going to be, and who you're going to be. And then you simulate how you're going to get there, what obstacles you're going to face, how the feelings you're going to have to overcome, laziness, the procrastination, what would happen when people say no, what will happen when you pitch your idea to someone and they say no. You don't want the first time you're feeling these feelings to be in front, to be at the, when it's crucial. You should simulate it in your mind before that time. So whatever your dream is in your business, in your company, simulate how you're going to get your pay rise. What are you going to do? Are you going to do extra? What value are you going to bring forward? How are you going to deliver this value? How are you going to let your employer see that you are delivering value? How are you going to document it, and present your case for your pay rise? Simulate that, and then you act. The final thing that you have to do is to act, to actually take one step forward, even if it's a small step. Take one small step forward and keep moving forward continuously. So you continually move forward and never stop. Even if it's a tiny step, even if all you do today is get up to research something or get up to, just even if it's just to do more mental simulations, you need to keep on taking steps forward to move yourself each day towards your goal. And yeah, so that is it. The third irrefutable law of a money mindset is that you don't need any particular talent, skill, or heritage to make money. It doesn't matter your age or your sex or your race. If you desire to earn more, keep more, and control your money, you need to believe that you can do it and act. And if you're believing something else, you're not believing that you can do it, then I have shown you how you can change that around. And you also need to take one little step ahead of each other. Each day, one step ahead in front of each other. You need to take a little bit of action each day towards your goal. Even if you can't see the results right now, it's cumulative. It's cumulative and it adds up as time moves on. So that is the end of today's masterclass. I have this today. I have discussed with you the ABC mindset framework, which is A, attention. B, that is with attention, you have to pay attention to your thoughts that you're thinking and understanding that each thought that you have creates the results that you will have. And pay attention to your thoughts and ask yourself, what am I creating when you're thinking this thought? Any thought that comes into your mind, if it's a negative thought, or just ask yourself 10 seconds, what am I creating? What am I creating? What am I creating? And if it's not something that you want to create, then you change your thought. You bring your thought captive. You are the boss of this ship, not your brain. You are the boss. Second is belief systems. What do you believe? And if it's in line with your vision. And if it's not in line with your vision, you have to work on renewing your mind so that you can believe things that are in line with your vision. And then make conscious habits. Conscious habits are intentional habits that you want to have so that you can have the financial life that you actually want. So if you have any questions, please pop it in the chat. I would love to answer. We have about 5 more minutes left before the class is over. But I did mention I had a quick offer for you. And if you did want to talk a little bit more about this, you can take a screenshot of this page right now and you can book a free 30 minutes call with me and we can talk more about it. Just take a screenshot, go onto my website and you can book a call with me and we can talk more about it. With regards to the bonus for staying to the end, if you have a pen and paper, this is an exercise. So we're all going to be wide awake for this one. Now, I want us to we have 5 more minutes, and I want us to spend the next 5 minutes actually, if you can write it on your phone or you can write it on a piece of paper if you have one, actually imagine what you want. Write down what you want for 5 minutes. It's funny that what we want seems to be like, our future is, I guess, the most important part of our lives, but we don't actually spend time thinking about what exactly we want. We spend time just going through the motions, going to work, coming back, going to work, coming back, and just following the patterns of what, things that are already set in motion by other people. But we need to stop that and actually set our lives in motion. So in the next 5 minutes or 4 minutes now, write down for the next 4 minutes what you want to feel, what you want to be doing, who you want to do it with, how you want to be living. where you want to be living, a detailed imagination of the future that you actually want. And when we move on from this call and you go and we end the call, I would like you to do a mental simulation of how you're going to get there. So we are going to do the what in this class, and you should be doing that right now. And if you would like to share some of your wants with me in the chat, I would love to know. But after the class is over, I want you guys to do a mental simulation of how you're going to get there, how you're going to do it. What are the steps that you're going to do? Mental simulation of you starting a business. Do you need a logo? Do you need to build a website? Do you need to get investors? Do you need to, I don't know what type of business it is. If you're looking for a job, do you need to write a CV? Do you need to send it out to recruiters? Do you need to apply, fill out application forms? How are you going to achieve the dream that you want, whatever it is? Yeah, that is important. It's important for us to actually put down what we want on paper. There's actually for now, everything that we want, is just in our minds. It's in our minds, but when we put it down on paper, it's actually becomes this tangible thing, and it actually changes. And when you put it down on paper, I want to give you an extra exercise to look at it every day. Put it somewhere where you can see. Look at it every day, say it to yourself every day, and let it sink into your subconscious that this is what you want, not anything that you have been saying, I don't want this or I don't want that. Let's focus on exactly what you want, and let's try and get that. So we're about to run out of time now. So what I would just thank you all so much for joining in. If you have any questions for me, please, please, please let me know. If this was useful to you at all, please let me know. I do need encouragement too, we all do. Let me know if it was useful at all, if you even learned one thing, in this class. And I would love to know. Some of you might have missed last week's class, which was more about the brain. But thank you for joining in this class as well. I really appreciate you all for being here. And I look forward to seeing some of your comments in my email. You can email me some of your wants, and I'd love to hear from you guys some more. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. So bye. More.